history, okay? I thought this over the weekend. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I thought it was best that I just prepare some remarks and read off my paper versus trying to cover it all here. But I entitled this message to you today called Remember 470, okay? So here's the story. The USS Haler, the DD-997, departed Norfolk, Virginia on September 19, 2001, 8 days after the terrorist attacks of 9/11, with the USS Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Battle Group for a scheduled 6-month deployment and to provide support to Operation Enduring Freedom. Embarked on Haler were HSL-46 Detachment 3 with their aircraft Cutlass 470. Haler and Det 3 had trained during the previous 8 months with the battle group and an amphibious readiness group in preparation for this deployment through a series of increasingly demanding exercises and operations. Almost 6 months later, on the morning of Tuesday, March 12th, less than 2 weeks from their scheduled return to Mayport, a deployment-experienced crew of 3 in Cutlass 470 launched from the flight deck of Haler for one of those simple C profile FCFs. Everyone knew it would be short and sweet, and that the Burd would be back in FMC status in no time. At about 10:30 local time, it'd be 0330 Eastern Standard Time, approximately 80 nautical miles west of Greece, Haler lost radar contact and communications with the aircraft. An immediate search and rescue effort ensued. USS Ross joined the Haler and proceeded to the last known position of the aircraft. Both ships put their ribs in the water. A P-3 from VP-10 was joined by a British C-130 as well as a Greek C-130 to expand the search. The search continued the rest of that day on March 12th and continued all day to the next day. Almost 48 hours after the crash, the Navy officially called off the search. None of the crew were recovered. All that was found was an oil slick and debris believed to be from the helicopter. 10 years ago today, on March 12, 2002, Cutlass 470 crashed at sea. And in that crash, on that tragic morning, the Grandmaster family lost 3 of its own. Lieutenant Terry Fussner, the aircraft commander, was 27 years old. She was from Manchester, Missouri, and graduated from the Naval Academy in 1996. She was an incredibly competitive runner and biker and had wanted to fly helicopters since the time she was a little girl. Lieutenant Wayne Roberts, the H-2P, was 34 years old. He was a prior enlisted sailor from Brooklyn, New York, and graduated from the University of North Florida in 1998. He was a mean domino player, loved reggae and jazz music, and had a signature ear-to-ear smile. AW2 Jason Lawson was 21 years old and a third-generation sailor, following in the footsteps of his dad and his grandfather. He was from Smyrna, Georgia, and a 1998 graduate of Campbell High School. He was motivated, loved to fly, and loved being a SAR swimmer. I want you all to reflect on this mishap today. I want you to think what it would be like and how you would feel if it were to happen today. I want you to think about the hurt and loss that the immediate family members of our 3 fallen Grandmasters must certainly feel today, the 10th anniversary of our squadron's last Class Alpha mishap. And as you think of those things, I want you to realize how critically and fatally important it is that you never drop your guard, that you always do your very best and fly and maintain this aircraft with keen discipline and unmatched skill. And I want you to realize how quickly and unexpectedly it can all be taken from you in this business. Out of respect, Cutlass 470 hasn't been used as a side number on a Grandmaster aircraft since that mishap. Now, 10 years later, I think it's time we remember this loss. I think we reflect on it and celebrate the lives of 3 lost squadron mates. As most of you know, time has a way of healing wounds. Over 57,000 mishap-free hours removed from this accident, however, it is one that must never be forgotten. This is an appropriate time to reflect, to remember, and decide how we as individuals can learn from this terrible tragedy to better our personal walks in life. to make an impact, to seize the day. We'll receive our first MH-60 Romeo in about a month. We all know that. It's truly the beginning of a new chapter in this squadron's storied history. It's my intent, out of respect to Lieutenant Fussner, Lieutenant Roberts, and AW2 Lawson and their families, to proudly put 470 on our first MH-60 Romeo. This aircraft will be our show bird. It will be painted as such shortly after we receive it. From the time of its arrival to the time we retire it someday, I want Grandmaster maintenance personnel who work on it and air crews who fly in it to remember the significance of Cutlass 470. Please join me in a moment of silence for the crew we lost on March 12, 2002. Thank you. You're dismissed.